waiting to be caught in the web of a spider woman.
Annika Brown with "Kiss of the Spider Woman." Now, that one I really enjoyed it. I love the ending part to it. Just kind of just the heavier alternative guitar kind of mixed in with this the lyrics. It just really stood out, and just like I really got into it. Just like very catchy tune, and actually in some cases kind of easy to sing along with as well. So like I really enjoyed this one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely love that tune. I love the string part on that. I'd love to know how you did that, actually. Did you get like a quartet in to record that with you, or?
No.
How did you do that? Because it really adds it. It's brilliant.
There is a viola on it, but the rest, my producer just did all of that by himself.
Really? That's amazing.
Oh, but yeah, luckily, he's a genius, so...
He's a keeper.
Yeah, really. I won't argue with you there.
It's really cool. Do you want to tell us what the song's about?
It's based on one of my favorite novels, which has also been made into a film called The Kiss of the Spider Woman. It's about two prison inmates in an Argentinian prison. One of them is a political prisoner. The other one is a gay window dresser who's there for corruption of minors. And but it's sort of a story about friendship and love. And the political prisoner, who's as macho as you can imagine an Argentinian man to be.
Right.
In the worst case. Well, they're basically very different, but he can't sleep because he's tormented by memories and troubles. So the other one is telling him stories, and with time, something quite beautiful is developing between them. It's sort of like Romeo and Juliet, just better, I guess. Yeah.
Nice. Bainesy?
Oh, sorry, I thought you had a follow-up to that, Mike, so...
No, I know. The story answered all my questions.
No, well, I'll be.
I'm also conscious that because we can only talk one at a time, I just talk loads, so...
well, so do I, so...
Quickly and answer.
Okay, well, I think, excuse me, my next question would be, what are you doing to promote the new album? Are you have you set up a bunch of gigs, or was it just that one gig recently, or?
No, I was going to set up a whole tour, but life sometimes interferes, so I will have to do that this year. I'll be setting up a tour, and I don't know how big it will be. Ideally, I'd like to have a huge production with lots of musicians, but my budget will probably just allow for one.
Right.
So,
No, my other question would be, do you have any merchandise? Or are you going to be getting any? Because I kind of want to, besides the CD, I kind of wouldn't mind a T-shirt as well.
I haven't got T-shirts though, not yet.
Okay. Well,
I've got... because I thought it would suit the theme, I've got notebooks, bookmarks, and postcards.
Ooh.
But
I'll
be into T-shirts as well.
Going old school, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. Speaking of which, I had to get a new record player. The one I have is about 30 years old, and it's done its time. It's not worth replacing the needle on it. And I was looking online and to see, a price range. And man, what a difference in price from like years ago. I mean, unless of course you're going high end like a Bang & Olufsen, so you're still gonna pay top dollar. But it's worth the money, mind you. But But I was looking because I got a whole bunch of new vinyls. It's like I need something to play them on. It's like, do I want to spend $120 or do I want to go $500 get a better one?
Yeah, question.
But either way, I guess I enjoy collecting. I enjoy collecting merchandise just in general, and I do wear or play stuff. So I'm just curious about that. But I'm just there's so many different questions I can ask that some of them have been answered already.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking in general, like, I mean, where can I go next? Let's go with this. We'll go with song titles. You know, there's always a good kind of a question I usually have is where some of the song titles come from. Like, are they preconceived, or does they come after the lyrics are written?
Well, that's very different. Sometimes a song can start with a title. For with "Kiss of the Spider Woman," well, it was the title, but also I had read the book, obviously. Sometimes it's just a title, and now you make something up. Sometimes I get inspiration from, I don't know, overhearing a conversation, like, for example, the last track on the album, Sea View.
Right.
That was inspired by I think I was walking in Brighton, I heard somebody say, "The view from my window is stunning," and I thought, oh, that is the most boring thing I've ever heard. Where I can take that. So, yeah, I
You know what, Annika, that statement right there reminds me of Faulty Towers. And if you remember the one episode, I'm not sure if you've seen them all, but Mike, I know you have. Remember the one episode with the deaf woman where she says, "My room's too small." He goes, "I asked for a view. Where's the view?" He's like, "It's right there between the land and between the sky and the ground." so
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. There's a whole bit in that where he's talking about moving the hotel 30 minutes down the road so she can have
It's at least about like a 3-4 minute kind of almost kind of diatribe going on about it. Like, shall I move it down to the west because that way you can see that.
It is genius. So obviously when I saw you, it was you and your accordion player, and you said that if you had unlimited amounts of money, let's pretend that you have unlimited amounts of money. I can imagine you could be one of these people with 50 odd musicians on stage. What kind of setup would you have if money wasn't an issue? Like, what instruments would you add into that live show?
Well, it would be tempting to overdo it, but yeah, I
think I would. If someone gave me an unlimited budget, I would definitely overdo it.
Well, I think I'd have to remind myself that it's more important to create an intimate atmosphere than really big production. So, but I would like a violinist, definitely a drummer, and what else? I think I would like to stick with the accordion as well, because I think those three things would be maybe a double bass.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because I have to think of what instruments would the devil approve of. So I want to keep it quite folky for this project.
No, fair enough. But I have to tell you, I think your odds of getting a violinist are better than getting a drummer. Just because drummers, or at least decent drummers, are very, very hard to find.
It would have to be a decent drummer, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I know. Like, I mean, and this is just what I've heard from, like, who knows how many interviews I've done over the past 5 years. But just even doing like GarageBand stuff to find a decent drummer, it's super hard. Because let's be honest, guitarists and basses are like a dime a dozen, but drummers, man, the key ones are hard to find.
Yes, I agree, definitely. What I'd also want, which isn't an instrument as such, but necessary, is somebody to do the lighting. I think lights are really necessary.
Now that's really interesting, because lighting is so underrated, especially for independent musicians that, frankly, don't have the budget to have their own lighting engineer on tour and all the rest of it. But some of the best gigs I've ever played, I've ever seen, are the ones where the person doing the lighting really gets it.
Yeah.
And it just makes such a big difference to the whole show and the whole atmosphere. What kind of I mean, I'm going to ask you to describe lighting on the radio. Are you ready for this? Yeah. So what kind of lighting ideas would you have for your show?
Well, I don't want to spoil any possible surprises, but yeah. Well, you probably remember the poem Captain Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there need to be, the lighting engineer would have to mess with the lighting there to make it more plane wreck-like, plane crash-like.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I tried to do, I don't know if it worked out because I was too busy performing, was to have the disco ball in use. I can't remember if that actually worked. It was, I tried to make use of the lights that night, but it was very basic. So, and I have no clue how it actually worked out because I was on stage.
So from an audience point of view, the lighting was actually very good at that particular gig. It was it reminded me of like backroom poetry evenings and things like that. It had that kind of club feel and atmospheric feel to the lighting, which was quite nice. I can't remember the disco. I can't remember if that was.
No, but I would have loved that to be on during Apocalypse. So, but not during the whole thing, just during the choruses. I'd love that. Because to make it more dancey. But what I did not like that particular night was that it was too dark in the room, and I would have loved to see my audience a bit better. Because it just feels like it is essential to the show to connect and to make contact with the audience, and that's not so easy when you start.
Oh.
And I also would like to be able to put my guitar down more. That's why it's good to have a band. I can unsettle the audience a bit better, and leave the stage more.
Well, for lighting, the one person who may have some good insight for you, because I know Mike, we talked to her and she has done a couple live shows, is Nina, who's Damsel in the Dollhouse.
Okay.
That's, well worth connecting actually.
Because I mean, she's a great independent artist, but she's done all her albums or EPs have video for almost every song, and they're all very creative, like different get ups, dress ups, that sort of thing. But I know she's done a few live shows, and I think she did her own lighting, so she might be a person to talk to, or just to see like how she did it. So she's at Damsel Dolly on Twitter.
I'll check that out.
Or you can find her on Facebook, and she's Nina Dove.
Okay.
So, and chances are she might be listening anyways, but she'd be a person to talk to about that stuff because she seems to be very, very versatile with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good shout. She's really switched on with that kind of stuff, actually. Yeah. And it's interesting what you say about lighting up the audience as well, because the amount of conversations, my singer gets quite anxious when he's, just before he goes on stage. Yeah. And after every gig, he's like, I didn't feel like there's anyone there. And I was like, no, there's 50, 70, whatever it is. There's loads of people there. It's just you can't see them. You need to get your head around the fact that you can't see them. But that doesn't mean they're not there. Over many years until we've drilled it into him, that usually, apart from the odd show where 2 people turn up, we all feel like it's just a great band practice.
Are you ready to rock and roll? Woo!
We once played a gig to our girlfriends in the bar staff in a pub at the back end of Worthing, and then 2 people came in from the streets. So we got them on stage to sing "Rockin' in the Free World" with us. So it goes either way, right?
Play some Skinnerd. Yeah.
One of them did actually say that.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
I think we played the first few bars of Sweet Home Alabama and stuff. But it is a weird feeling when you can't see anyone, because you're right, there should be. I get why you can't, but there should be a way of making that connection.
I kind of like it. I find it actually easier. Now I find it easier when I can't see the audience, but trying to push myself out of my comfort zone there, because I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on.
Should we play another track, Bonesy?
Yeah, we have time for one more track, and even though she told me to take my pick, I decided to play both of them. So here is our second song by Annika Brown, "The Devil Has a Shovel." Dig this.